Hello my friends, it has been a while since I've done an update video because I had been so busy. But I wanted to show you guys this because this is something I've had for about quite some time. And this is a log of everything I've ever done since, well, the start of the channel. Now, most of you remember I started my channel off in 2010. However, I've been a user on YouTube since 2006, but I didn't really get my channel actually going until 2010. So, I'm showing you that I have, in total, from 1 to 237 games done in the span of 15 years. Some in which are maybe a bit mixed, because some are, as you can see, unworked and original. Now, when I mean unworked, as far as this is concerned, there was a patch for the original Lunar games in which they were left under normal difficulty, not the way Working Designs had it. Okay. And a lot of these games I have covered are mostly, well, fan translation. Oh, I should also put down that this one was fan translated. So there you go. So throughout all this time, and that means streams too. I count streams as well, because, you know, whether I'm doing it as Let's Plays or I'm doing them as streams, it's all going there. It's all going in the list. So yeah, for the past 15 years, this is what I've done. I've logged in every game that I've ever beaten. And that's the reason why, after I'm done with this batch of what I'm working on, whatever I planned to work on, it's just gonna be moved to 2026. I'm already working on the 26 build as we speak, but at the same time, you know, I wish I had more time to work with. But with the way things have been the last couple of days, it's just been like, ugh. It has been a thing since I just been, you know, going through a lot of stuff. In between, you know, therapy sessions and rehearsal sessions, I really haven't found it in me to, you know, straight up have the energy to stream. And remember when I first streamed, I streamed like, what, 3 days a week? And now I don't even do that anymore. I barely do Wednesdays now. Hell, I barely do Mondays. And Fridays, forget it. I've given myself a break since then because with a lot that's going on, I kind of had to keep my ear to the grindstone as far as whatever is going on in life concerning. And past couple days, I really have not been really in the mood to stream, especially since quite recently I've learned that one of my one of the last aunt in my main family has finally passed on. And I feel I need to talk about this because, I mentioned this in a post, on a Facebook post, that it hits really close to home. So the fact is, she was just like my mom. And the way my mom was, she was the sweetest woman on earth. The same goes with my Aunt Daisy. She was the sweetest woman on earth. She had that fire too, and everybody could see that. And it was funny because of that fire. Now, another thing of note is that I really should make myself some tea. Because this weather has been so hard on my throat, being that it's been so dry around here. Give me a moment. I apologize for that. I was mentioning that my voice has been kind of hoarse the last couple of days. You can kind of hear it in my Let's Plays. I just need to take a little sip. And it's more than enough. And I do mean I just need a little droplet of it. So I also have some green tea. I'm just gonna add into the mix. So that's what you're hearing. You're doing voiceover work. And even when I'm doing, as far as my poetry is concerned, you've seen a bit of it. It requires a lot of my voice. And I have to put a lot of emphasis in what I read because, well, I not only read the stuff I make, but I refine it. So therefore, I keep the original, and sounds good, I refine it. Which means I make it sound a lot better than it did originally. Besides, the truth is, ever since I've gone back into writing, that's where most of my ideas really go to. It goes towards writing. So as you can tell, as you've seen on my YouTube channel, that I've shown the stuff I've written. Basically, it is what it is. You see, what you see is what you get from me. It's my way of keeping things in perspective as far as authenticity is concerned. So, what I was mentioning before was, like, past couple of days, my aunt, she passed away. She was like my mom, with all the guts and the fire my mom had, even though she was like a little more settled than, say, my aunt or any of my other many of my other aunts were like that. But my aunt Daisy and my mom, they were like really connected as far as the guts and the fire was concerned. She had that inner fire that basically people knew, you know. People knew she was all about the business. And you know, it just goes to show you that technically um the women in my family have always been very, very outspoken. Not so much the men, but more so the women are the most outspoken in my family. And you know, if something's wrong, they will let you know something is wrong. It's the reason why most times I'm smart enough to know I'm not going to win this battle, so guess what? Just admit to it. I'm not going to win this battle if I want to be able to sleep if I want to be able to sleep in my own bed later that night. Oh, that's good. Keep in mind it's very, very hot. And because it is very, very hot, I'm talking about the tea. I had to drink it very carefully because, you know, I put in 2 different teas in there. One is for, let's see, one is herbal blend, the other is green. So it has vitamin C and zinc, as well as, you know, I have some green tea. Earl Grey, rather. So I got some Earl Grey and honey lemon echinacea. So anything in order to keep my voice in check. So one of the few things I have been doing in between, you know, Let's Plays and whatnot, and like I mentioned with my poetry, I put more emphasis in my poetry than I do with, say, Let's Plays and whatnot. Even though Let's Plays is something I do mostly on YouTube, I feel it's more authentic doing it on YouTube than it is doing it on Twitch, because Twitch is basically you're focusing on one too many things besides the game. You're focusing on the people that come into your stream. You're focusing on your webcam. You're focusing. It's like your webcam here. The people who come into your stream here. If you get raids or something like that. Oh, this goes off and that goes off, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. No, really, that's how I am. I'm like, well, I'm here. This is like this. My cyber self just like, man, really, you gonna be doing all that shit? No, I ain't doing that. So if I'm here, I'm gonna be doing a session for like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours if I feel up to it. Oh man, that's good. Seems better when I just leave it off with if I drink it with the top off. But yeah, as far as, you know, Twitch is concerned, it feels like I don't know, scripted. Or you need somebody to guide you. And I see nothing wrong with, being a guide if the need calls for it. But not all the time do I need a guide. I can handle things with just a walkthrough on the side. Like, say, if I have my desktop up, okay? I have like what, 6 tabs and nothing, and all I have on them is walkthroughs. Yeah, if I were to show you, it's like, oh yeah, I got tabs open full of walkthroughs. Aside from that, there's YouTube. So it's like, oh hey, do I need to cover this? Do I need to cover this? Do I need to cover this? Yeah, let me make sure I'm on it. I basically look through certain games. It's like, okay, to find this, I have to make sure I do this. And most times, I'm doing cross-reference. So if I need to make sure I'm accurate, or I don't know what I'm looking for, that's what I use YouTube for. And most times I'm like, okay, I break away. Like for PS4 games, I actually do break away. So I make a straight up video. And what I usually do is, like, if I'm looking for some hunting and pecking, especially on a PS4 game, guess what I'm going to do? I'll fight my way through it until I basically say, you know what? I'm going to take a break. And I'm going to look this up and I'll be right back. Or maybe I will probably be doing this online, or not online, but while I'm doing this. But the thing is, I would have the volume all the way down, and I'm looking at this, and all I'm doing is cross-referencing. That's all I'm doing. Cross-referencing where the spot is and what I'm supposed to be looking for. Just like that. That's all I really do. And I've done it twice already for this whole year. One for the Grace Ace Attorney Chronicles 2 Resolve, and with Kingdom Hearts 3. Finding Olaf, and you'll see it. Basically, just trying to find the pieces is like, okay, it's a nightmare in itself, because you have no map to use. The voice cues aren't really helping because they don't, so I'm right here. It's like, right here, where? You're not telling me you're right here. I'm like, no, where? You gotta point me. I don't have a map up. You gotta guide me. It's like, I'm blind. You have to guide me. Simple as that. Okay? Technically, you don't do that. And I'm against that, really. I'm truly against that. You should never have to hunt and peck for just one simple item, but or a person. It's like, I don't like that Where's Waldo bullshit. I'm sorry, that's not fun to me. And you will hear me voice my discontent about the whole thing in a few parts. And you may notice that I have only done like 7 parts of Destiny of an Emperor. 3 parts of Dirge of Cerberus. But I have a lot of stuff I'm still working through. So it's like with Dirge of Cerberus, I'm still doing it. I'm just not doing the parts right now. But where I am in the game is chapter 4. Okay, I am in chapter 4 in Dirge Cerberus, and it's like 12 chapters. So it's not like I forgot about it. It's basically, I'm doing a lot of other stuff too. Especially with what I still got going. Like Tales of Rebirth. Some of the parts that I already did, I didn't put them up, but it's like I had to deal with PS2 emulation. The last couple of parts I did, they were like from 2 different emulators. One being that it was 2.2, and it was really supposed to be 2.4, but the damn updater never really updated everything. So a lot of the older parts are kind of messed up because, you know, I was working stuff around. You know, I was basically kind of adjusting things with the renderer and whatnot. And that's one thing I want to point out. Namco Bandai, just port over, make a clean port of Tales of Rebirth over on Steam. Because not many people know that that game exists. And, you know, it's already fan translated. So, it'd be great if you guys would if you guys would just do that. Just, you got a lot of Tales games that need to be unearthed. Not the ones we already know. We already know about the ones that, the PS2 ones and the GameCube ones, and even the ones on Steam and PS3, they exist. But not many people know about Rebirth, you know. Or Tales of the World, or, you know, Not a Kitty Dungeon, you know, that sort of thing. And let me remind you, I mostly go by JRPGs. It's like, it's kind of a standard with me. Like, I play anime games, I play JRPGs. I rarely play platformers, and I do shoot 'em ups. And if I feel bored enough to do it, something like a simulator. If I'm really, really bored enough to do it. But if I feel tired, or I really can't sleep, it's going to be something like, say, it's going to be like a puzzler, like Dr. Mario or Yoshi's Cookie or Panel de Pon or something like that. Now, you're probably wondering why I got RetroArch up. Well, I was in the middle of going to do more parts of Destiny of an Emperor, but I think I feel that can wait. That can wait until later tonight, because I already did my quota of 2 hours, 2 borderline 3 hours, and it was on Tales of Rebirth. I also have a couple of videos that I hadn't put up because I have been so busy. And what I do mean by busy, I mean, you know, life has kept me busy. So, Galgun Returns, yeah, I finished the other story, which is Senpai, and I'm like, I'm sorry, my character wants to be a simp? Nope. 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 That's all I can tell you. The third route is my main character is going after a high class lonely Veronica Lodge. And he's not even Archie Andrews. And part of me is like, I want to put this up, and at the same time, I want to finish all of Galgun Returns before I say, okay, I'm going to put all this up. And of course, you have to put into perspective that I can't put everything up because of YouTube's new limit. Like I used to do on one day, maybe 2 days, that I record something and I put up like say 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. I'll just come out and say it, a week's worth of parts. Okay? So I put up a week's worth of parts just to say, oh, there's daily content. It's the same thing with, streams. I do that in case, Sunday I don't have anything up. Okay. Well, this is what I did during the week. There's your weekly stream on a Sunday. There you go. And I still have to finish Akiba's beat. And just to let you know, I will be working on that sometime this week. Most likely Wednesday. If nothing else is happening, definitely Wednesday. Besides just me going through the final dungeon, so, it is what it is. You want to drop by? Please drop by. You are always welcome to my streams, no matter what it is, no matter what time it is, but please drop by. Say hello. Even have a conversation, don't be scared. And of course, raids are welcome. Boy, it has been an interesting, and I do mean interesting, update. Because really, I have been doing a lot of stuff in between everything else that you see. But I am so glad I'm basically getting everything that I want to get done for this year. So I would say after I'm done with finishing up Berserk Musou, I wanted to do One-chan Origins, but I kept running into, I want to say, a bug or glitch that kept just like knocking out the game. I also want to think it's corrupted in some form. I don't know how, but it kind of is. Don't know why. But that's just in case if anything happens. Okay, here's your throw-in LP just in case this game decides to up and quit. In the course of 9 parts, it upped and quit. It did say, but after I tried loading it up, oh, it doesn't want to play anymore. That's the downside of doing Steam games sometimes. Some games will not run because, oh, your OS is out of date, or something else happens. But most likely, if your OS is out of date, you're shit out of luck. Nothing you can do about that except, just wait until you get like Windows 11 or something like that. I had to go through a lot of games that I could not do because of OS. And I've been doing it since Windows XP. I have been on YouTube since the dawn of Windows XP into 7, 10 Pro. And most likely, I will eventually be doing 11. whenever they work the bugs out in 11. I've heard things about the patches that are happening in 11 and whatnot. So I'm gonna stick around on 10 until I'm pretty positive that 11 is safe to make the jump to. And I do mean jump as in Bolson jump. So let's see. I also have parts of V, Cross, and 30 I haven't put up yet. And yeah, let me tell you, SRW games, they are long. Especially Voyage and Cross. They are like 50, I want to say 52 levels. But if you add the DLC missions, we're talking about maybe 70. So LP wise, be like we're in like 46, borderline 50, because in story we are like halfway, but we've done the bonus. But the bonus scenarios, count them too. Secret scenarios, them too. So yeah, we're looking at like what? Maybe a good 150 or so episodes. I am totally not sure. And in between all that, yeah, I'm still playing through Musashi. Megaton Musashi. The games I wanted to do afterwards, they're not going to be done this year. I can already tell you, they're not going to be done this year. It's like Cowboy Bebop, I'm already working on it. So that's like right there, 2026 Cowboy Bebop. The same thing with Pat Labor. I want to do Pat Labor, but part of me says I'm not going to be able to do it. Because after I'm done with Ace Attorney for this month and Berserk Musou, then I have Yakuza 5 to finish, and on top of that, Silent Hill 2. And then once I'm done with Silent Hill 2, I'm done. I'm done for this whole year. I'm not worried about doing anything more Yakuza, because to me there's only like 3 games I have left on my list to do. And that's basically the PSP one. I got a new version of the PSP one because the old one was outdated and it was bugged to hell and back. So there's a new version that I have sitting on my PSP that I plan to, when I find time to sit down and just do it, I'll do it and have it ready, and I'll just post it as new version. But it's called the Black Panther arc. So that's what it's called. Yakuza Black Panther arc. Or Kudo-Hyo. Kudo-Hyo arc. I also have on hand what I plan to do for 26. SRWY. Now I have a lab version of it because I also have Ujinx. That is a Switch emulator. And that's pretty much going to be like a lab version. I like to call it that because it's until all the standards come out with, you know, getting the nouveau handled and settled and everything else, I'm gonna hold off on wine. Plus, I'm still doing cross voyage in 30. So mind you, I'm doing the 25th and 30th anniversary games, and the one in between, which is cross. So voyage is the 25th anniversary. 30 is the 30th anniversary. So I'm doing 2 anniversary games. I can pretty much say I can wait on Y. I'm not in a rush to do certain games just because they're out. You know, it's like, first! Like, for what? Remember that on YouTube that some people say first? And I shake my head at, like, for what? I shut them down just like that. You're no fun. I'm like, you aren't either. My response: you aren't either. You're not fun either. Trolls, crazy. It's about the same thing. I had a troll on one of my poetry videos saying that the last poem I did was pretty gay. I'm like, well, I don't think the ladies didn't mind, because these are one of the poems I do. One of the poems I did. Well, I performed them in club. And mind you, it's no different than choir rehearsal. I kid you not. It's like I'm the only guy there. And even funnier is this. Go to choir. It's like Thursday. Every Thursday, this is what happens. I'm practically the only guy there. We got 2 new guys. They're practically on new guy status. Well, I think the newer guy, which is quite funny. Older cat, very respectable. He knows what he wants, which is a good thing. The thing is, he isn't aware that, you know, that we're in need of more voices, and we could certainly as hell use a lot more voices. So the thing here would be, oh, hey, you want to join? Okay, you join, you're part of the choir. Okay, after you've joined the choir, you've got to go through, you know, quote unquote, 3, you know, you go through a probation period, like 3, like say 1 month or maybe 2 or 3, however it worked, because everybody goes through it. Okay, you know, everybody goes through an audition. Then after the audition, you know, they check out your voice. They kind of test you where you are. And, you know, if you are in, you know, if your guy, there's only 2. You only got tenor, bass, and the very rare baritone. Now, me, I can do partly bass. I can kind of do a baritone, but it's not as strong as pure baritone. But I can mock a baritone. I can mock a bass too, but my bass voice just don't kind of cut it. It kind of cuts when it needs to be, but it's not as strong as a natural bass. Just let you know. But when I had to talk like this, oh my God, it sounds weird. Because you can hardly hear my voice when I start talking like this. Because I had to really talk into the mic. Really, really into the mic. Like this. Oh, let's not try and do baritone. Baritone is like this. Baritone is like really, really deep. You can't hear shit. But me, oh, I'm first tenor. I'm okay with that because my voice kind of dangles a bit, and since my voice dangles a bit, yes, my voice dangles when I sing sometimes. I think the last thing I did was I sang a Japanese song from King of Fighters. And I remember the image song I did, and I pulled it up and I put it on my voice's profile. Just say, oh, I forgot. I can sing in Japanese. Yeah. It wasn't as strong, but I can hear myself going like, damn, I kind of sound sad. And I sound sad, but I sound like I'm really, really trying on this song. I mean, I can build a few notes of it, but I can tell you when I built, I can build. Like if I can do like Mazinger Z, Great Mazinger. I can do Ichiro Mizuki. That's not a problem. I can do a damn good Ichiro Mizuki when I feel like it. I can't do Hironobu Kageyama to save my own life. You know, I can't do Chow Lao Hit Chala. I can't really do that. It's like you gotta have that, and I don't want to have that. Hey no cow pow. You know, I gotta have that snarl in there. Oh, I can do a little bit of One Piece. You know, I can do Aikidemo Yume o Ekitatsume. You know, I can do a little bit of that, but you know, not too much. Not too much. You know, when I'm really feeling it, I can belt a good bit of Japanese, but not too much. You know. I mean, I would get some straight ass looks like, wait, you saying you know Japanese? Like, oh, only a little bit. It's like just a little bit. You know, I'm Mr. Izzy, but you know, my Mr. Izzy hasn't been used in like years. Which is funny because in hindsight, there's still some old students around that I see, and you know, they remember me, and they say, "Oh, what's up, Mr. Izzy?" I'm like, "Konnichiwa." Yup. Which is funny because, you know, I think in hindsight, I find myself legendary in my own right because I'm like the only quote unquote intern slash teacher assistant to ever do the following. To take in my own consoles to a first grade class, break it out, and just blow their minds. It's like one time, I forgot what it was. It might have been like a shortened day. So I asked my boss, I said, well, I have no plans, so what do you have in mind? So, well, you have consoles, right? I was like, yeah, I got a few consoles. So, well, why don't you bring one out? Why don't you bring one on a shortened day? And I did. I brought out my PS2. I think it might have been a party day too. So it was one or two. But one day I did bring out my PS2. I have my DDR dance pads. I have my DDR games, and I just basically just did this. I just basically hooked it all up. It's like, just like it took me like, oh, let me just do this. It took me about a good 5 minutes to just hook everything up. It's like, do not look over here, guys, and just making sure everything's fine. Okay, we good? Good. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at this. Okay. It's like, don't look over here. What are you doing, Mr. Izzy? Don't look over here. Pay attention to her. So I'm just doing this. I'm just making sure everything is checked. So what are you doing? I'm making sure everything's good. So we're good. So good to go. And even the older students, I blew their minds because I'm like, I carried around on me I carried around on me different bags. One of them I remember having was a Marvel vs. Capcom bag. I carry messenger bags. So whenever I taught a lesson, I had a certain bag with me. So let's say I brought my PS2 or something like that. Well, I carried this with me. I had, the PS2 in one bag. I had all the paraphernalia in another bag. So I was like, okay. had the pads all nice and neat, folded up and everything. Or I had the, controllers on one end, the plugs on the other end, And I didn't carry this shit home. Oh, hell no. Are you mad? Shit, I live in California. You must be out your damn life. You think I'm going to be carrying all that shit home? And I don't live that far from the school, but damn, I am not going to drag my ass down just to take all this shit home. Then I had to unload the shit when I get home. Because all I'm bringing are the plugs, the main plugs, like the AV cables, the controllers, the power plug. That's it, to go along with the console. Remember some of the times I did. So I don't know. I basically tried to form a lesson while playing Samurai Warriors. So let me tell you about the Battle of Sekigahara. All these kids are like, ooh. I blew people's minds that day, let me tell you. But mind you, I used to do this. I used to do this while I was, in the middle of 2010. And mind you, this is when my folks were still alive. Like 2010, 2017. My folks passed away around 2017. Between 2017 and maybe 2022. 5 years apart. That's when I stopped going. Because a lot of things were happening and, I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't really do the volunteer thing anymore. Because, it was, not that I didn't enjoy it, but it's like, things started changing, and plus, my family needed me more. So, therefore, didn't have to do it, even though I enjoyed it. Plus, there were things happening at the school, and I was going to be hired on, but nothing happened. They fired the guy that was going to hire me on. That's the reason why I just never pursued it. Plus, it's like, I I really didn't see myself staying there for the long run. I just stayed there as long as I was needed. But when I wasn't needed, okay, that's it. I'm no longer needed. That's it. But they remember me. I made an impact. That's the most important thing. It's the same thing when I do on YouTube. I play all these games 15 years straight. That means all 237 of them, be they in Let's Play form or in stream form, I have beaten each and every one of them. Even some of them, they're on Chests of Obscurity. Some of them need to be put on to Let's Play format, and others, well, you know, it takes some time. But still, it's like, well, it is what it is. I mean, aside from that, you know, in hindsight, well, I feel I've done quite a bit for 15 years on YouTube, and I haven't stopped. And I feel, you know, I'm probably the most authentic of all Let's Players, of most Let's Players you will ever find on YouTube, because I just let it be known, look, I'm not a pro at this. I'm basically an old school gamer that doesn't mind using cheats when I need to use cheats. If it's on a game in which is like super unfair, oh, the cheats are going on. Fuck playing by the rules. The playing by the rules has been thrown out the window since. Y'all gonna play dirty? I can play dirty too. You wanna play dirtier? I can play dirtier too. I can even the playing field. I can level the playing field. I can flip the whole goddamn table over, and I can still beat the damn game with the table flipped. I let it be known, you know, I don't sugarcoat my shit. I don't like to, you know, I don't like to edit because I'm not a firm believer of editing to make it look nice. I mean, this is all behind the scenes stuff. This video is nothing but behind the scenes stuff. So the stuff you don't ever hear, this is what goes on. But you know, I've been doing this for 15 long ass years. This has basically been my way of coping with life. For the last 15 years, I've been coping with life. You know, where people say, "Oh, you're just playing a video game." Like, to the untrained eye, yes, it may seem like I'm playing a video game, but I'm doing so much more. It's helping me cope with things. It's helping me, you know, put things into perspective, as it were. It kind of helps things to talk about it. Even if nobody's listening, or if somebody's listening, they just don't tell you straight out, "Oh, hey, I listened to what you said." It's a sad thing sometimes that you don't get, you know, honest to goodness people that just flat out just say it. Like, I've listened to every word you said, or, you know, or, you know, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And I'm like, you know, why? You going to pay me for it? I mean, that'd be cool if you're going to pay me for it. You going to pay me some Capcom or Konami fun bucks? Or, you know, you're actually going to pay me. Like, a check. Because if you're going to pay me with a check, I happily, wholeheartedly accept. With the greatest and gracious of attitudes I can possibly give you. The way I see it, I got this blackjack mentality, you know. It's kind of like, you know, how blackjack, if you ever seen the Osamu Tezuka anime, or read the manga, then you know. But if you don't, let me break it down for you. Blackjack is basically about a talented surgeon in a world of somewhat semi corrupt officials. And in between that, there are those who need his help to those who want his help. Like, from the bottom of his heart, need help. To, I want your help. I'll pay you for it. And he puts it into perspective that, you know what, if you really need my help, meet my demands. How much is your life worth? So I see it like that. I'm somewhat of a contractor that basically just asks that same question. So how much is it worth to you? I don't mind spending the time or the energy that I can allow myself to spend. But how much are you willing to pay for it? Now, are you willing to pay me in food, money, or some other means? I leave that to you, not to me. Remember, you're the one requesting me. But if you make it worth my while, then I think we can come down to an equally mutual compromise. Sound good? Sound good. That's how I've always been doing this for so long. And that's basically my mentality of the whole thing. And then, with all that has happened, going back to what's been happening, basically, with my family. As I mentioned at the start of the video, the last of my main family is gone, and I'm a second generation. The least I can do, or I should say the least I did, was made a poem for the service that is going to happen next week. Next Saturday, rather. I already got the details from my cousin. They're going to hold the service for my aunt next Saturday. Of course, I'm not going. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I'm going to be roughly honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen this month. I don't know what's going to happen next week. If I can make it past this week, that'd be great. That gives me hope. I just want to make it through this week. I mean, if there's going to be something happening, then great, cool. I'm still here. Wonderful. Moving on in life. But if something big going down, I'm going to be affected by it, and everything I do will be affected by it. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Or if it does, I'm hoping that whatever transition is going to happen wouldn't take as long. Whatever that transition may be. Simple as that. Well, I've talked for about an hour. Everything under the sun. So I do still have that poem up. So I may do a short camera video of me reading it to you guys. It is something I did do for my uncle. Or rather, it's for the entirety of my family. So I already have it written down. And of course, I always read the refined version of it because the refined version just kind of, you know, it's like it makes the draft more like the way I read it down. Okay, it is what it is. All right, cool. Versus, you know, the revised version or the refined version. It's like, oh wow, that's beautiful. So yeah, it's nice compared to what I originally said. And mind you, all my poems are are already set up to be are all set to be ready for the second volume of my poetry series. The first one is already copyrighted, just never made into a book. So I still got the rights. The second one, that is one of my plans for next year as well. Basically, get the book done, have it finished, get all of it typed up, have them all refined, have them put together in digital format, and get them copyrighted. That much is for certain. That is basically one of my actual plans. Because let's face it, I'm not gonna make it as a streamer. I don't like, you know, it's not that I don't like streaming, but it's like too much pressure, too much fakery, not enough authenticity. Whereas if I'm doing a let's play, what you see is what you get. Everything is basically real as you can see it. Everything I go through, I'm not cutting that shit out. Okay? And that's the reason why I kind of like what I do. I like doing let's plays more than I like streams because I feel more alive when I'm doing a let's play versus me doing a stream which I'm just barely talking at all. It's like it's great if I had an audience, but it just feels lonely when you're just playing a game and nobody honestly cares. It's like, well, yeah, you don't have to remind me. If you can make it, make it. You can't, you can't. I'm not holding anybody hostage if you can make it. But if you can show up, great. You can't, I'm not going to sit there and cry about it. Just like, you know. But aside from that, yeah, this whole video, as you see, is, well, the DGCL, the definitive game completion list of 2010 to 2025. And yes, after I'm done with September, October, November, I'm going to take December off, maybe part of January off from making anything new, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be posting stuff. There'll be more posting because I got stuff I still need to finish, so I'm just going to finish that out, and the new stuff will be going up around, say, partial January into February. By then I would have new stuff ready to go at a moment's notice, and I would already be posting some new stuff around, say, February or March or something like that. It is the nature of the beast for me sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. So anyway, I've been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi. Will always be your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi. And that's been my life, and this has been a video. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for your continued support over the years. And I do look forward to continuing the madness in 2026. So until then, I hope you're ready for it. See you then, people. Bye, Tinsel. See you next game. God bless and take care.